Hey, I'm Jason. I pastor First Assembly in Lonoke, and I'm privileged today to be able to ask some questions and represent our community, to ask some questions of some leaders in our city that can help us to have some information and understanding about the reopening of our town. We're all excited about it, and we're ready for life to get back to normal in Lonoke. And so I'm privileged to be able to ask some questions of our Mayor Trae and the president of our Lonoke Area Chamber of Commerce, Matt Boyles. And so would you welcome with me to start off by answering some questions by video. Though we couldn't get together, we're practicing social distancing, and so we're doing it this way. So would you welcome our Mayor Trae?
Yeah, hey Jason, I want to say thanks first to you for helping us out with this video and getting some information out to the public, and to Matt Boyles, who you're going to hear from in just a minute as well, president of the chamber. Thanks to both of you guys for partnering on this message.
So Mayor, how are you feeling, and how's the city feeling? What are some observations as we move forward?
It's been a trying time. Folks are tired. I'm tired. The city's tired. We want COVID to move on, all right? But we've sacrificed a lot in the last few weeks, and we don't want to give all of that up right before we get ready to cross the finish line and drop the football in the fourth quarter, if you would. So hang in there. We're going to get through this.
For sure, we're all ready to move to the next phase. We're ready for life to be back to normal. But as for right now, what can we expect and what's happening in regard to the community center?
We opened the community center back up in accordance with the governor's directives. If you want to go work out, the doors are open. If you don't feel comfortable, please feel free to stay away for a little bit, but there are restrictions. You do have to wear a mask. All of the ADH guidelines are at play at the community center, but it is open to the public. All right. Membership fees were frozen when we started the closure, and so if you have an open membership, it will be reactivated at the point in time that you go back to work out. Okay.
So what can citizens expect in regard to the city offices, the water department, city shops, and things like that?
A couple of departments are going to open back up starting Monday, May the 11th. The water department is going to open back up, and we're going to start taking cash payments again. All right, so that's good news. We had a special session this past week, and the city council unanimously voted to waive late fees for the billing cycles of March and April. All right, the water bills are due. We have an obligation, legal obligation, to collect water bills. We cannot omit water bills, but we can waive late fees, and we are doing so for the March and April billing cycles. And we have not cut off any water accounts since all this started, but everything will go back to normal as it was starting this billing cycle for May. All right. If you have further questions, you can contact the water department at 676-6658. All right, water department's opening back up. The city shop is going to open back up. The animal shelter is going to open back up to the public. All right, those three departments right there are going to open back up on Monday, May the 11th.
Well, that's great. We're excited about things reopening. So these are things that are happening, that have already happened with the community center, and some things that reopened May the 11th. So what about next week?
May the 18th, City Hall will be open back up to the public. The district court is going to open back up to the public. The police department and our city parks are going to open back up. All right. So there will be restrictions if the governor still says that we are to be wearing masks indoors. Then there will be a requirement. And if you have a cold, sniffles, or any symptoms, then you'll be asked not to come in. We're just trying to be smart about this, open up slowly, and rephase back into some sense of normalcy.
Well, there's one question that a lot of people are interested in, especially in Lonoke. The baseball season's a big deal for us. And so would you talk to us a little bit about what the baseball season looks like for Lonoke?
Our city parks will be opened, but the ballpark is going to remain closed until further notice. All right. We are working. Roy Don Lewis is working hard right now to come up with an alternative baseball season for our community. Now, just hear me out real quick. What we're not going to do is force a baseball season on a community that does not want to play in these times, and that's okay. So I'll start up front. There is a 100% guarantee that you will get your monies back if you do not want to attend baseball, or your child just doesn't want to play because it's too late in the season. That's all okay. Just call the Parks Department, talk to Mr. Rordon. He will give you 100% return on your money. No questions asked. If we have enough interest, then we are going to put together a baseball season that will most likely be delayed. Middle of June, late June, early July probably is when we're going to start. Again, all of this is dependent on the governor's directives on youth sports and sports across the state. So more to come on that.
Well, we appreciate your leadership, and we know that you want to keep all of our kids and families safe. And I know it's difficult. A lot of people have mixed feelings about the baseball season. So thanks for just doing your due diligence and doing everything you can to reopen as soon as possible and as safely as possible. What about things like the district court? So tell us about that a little bit.
June the 9th, the district court is going to have a plea and arraignment date. There are approximately 160 cases. It's a lot of folks to have in a small courtroom. And so what they're asking is for everybody to call in advance with any questions or concerns to ensure that your attendance is mandatory. You can call the Lonoke District Court at 501-676-3585.
And would you remind us when this curfew expires?
The curfew that was in place will be set to expire Tuesday, May the 12th.
I know one thing that's been discussed is the emergency procedures in regard to things like the safe rooms, should there be severe weather or anything like that. And that's something that you wanted to speak to the public about. So would you address some of those issues, please?
We've changed up the storm shelter procedures in accordance with the Department of Health and the county OEM to ensure that those who do seek shelter at our public facilities have an opportunity to be screened and limit their risk to transmissions. So if we have a tornado warning and the police department opens up the doors, all the doors in every storm shelter are open. They are there for public use. But the Lonoke High School storm shelter has been particularly set up so that we can provide a screening process for folks who are seeking shelter. And it's just another way that we can, again, mitigate this whole thing as we come out of the backside of the curve.
We have some great Lonoke businesses, and I know it's very important to you that as a community, we continue to help build our economy right here among our local small businesses. And so would you just share your thoughts on how we can, as a community, continue to come together and move forward economically?
It's always important to spend local, but it's critical at this point in time for the lifeblood of this community, for all our mom and pops and small businesses, that we spend every dollar here before we go to North Little Rock or Cabot or Jacksonville. All right. If you need it and you want it and you can find it here in Lonoke, I'm asking you, and I'm setting an example, please spend your local dollars here in Lonoke. Every dollar counts, and it's going to be a reinfusion. It's going to help our local economy.
And I think every time I've heard you speak in the last several months, we've heard you talk about the census. So would you give us an update on where we stand with the census here in Lonoke and what we need to do to make sure that everybody gets counted?
We're at 57% right now. We've got through August. So we're shifting from awareness to accountability. I'm going to ask you to keep your neighbors accountable, hold yourselves accountable. If you haven't done your census, please do it now. Every person in your household is $2,500. 10 years, $25,000. That income is vital to schools and roads and Head Starts and all types of public systems. It's really, really important that we get an accurate count.
Well, thanks so much, Mayor. Thanks for your transparency, your openness, and thanks for your leadership. And in regard to the economics in our small businesses, we've also been joined by Matt Boyles. And so, Matt, you had some things that you wanted to share with not only our chamber members, but our community and especially our small business owners. And so I'm going to turn it over to you now to share the things that you want to communicate to all of our community, especially our small business owners.
Hi, I'm Matt Boyles, Lonoke Chamber of Commerce President and local business owner of Grand Prairie Financial in downtown Lonoke. I would like to update the business community on what is going on at the Chamber during the coronavirus pandemic. Hannah Harris, Director of the Chamber, has been in constant contact with our United States Senator Tom Cotton's office through their local liaison, Mr. Stephen Wright. The Chamber receives updates almost daily regarding legislation from Washington that affects your businesses here in Lonoke. I know many of you have questions about all the programs in and around the CARES Act, in particular, the Paycheck Protection Program, better known as PPP. Hannah and your Chamber Board of Directors have been in contact with Mr. Edward Haddock from the Small Business Administration for guidance on the program's guidelines. Lastly, we have been in communication with our local state senator, Jonathan Dismain, about how the state is here to help. In particular, filing of unemployment claims, whether it be through the unemployment office, by phone, or email. The Chamber has posted on its Facebook page a recording from last month's Zoom meeting with the three previous mentioned individuals. Please go back and watch the meeting as it has lots of good information pertaining to small businesses as well as individuals. Please feel free to reach out to our director, Hannah Harris, during this time for any information you may need. We have lots of informational pieces sent to us by the different agencies mentioned. You may reach the Chamber at 501-676-4399 or email Hannah at lonokechamberofcommerce@gmail.com. Lastly, as a lifelong resident of Lonoke, I cherish the community we have, as I know you do. Please remember to shop local, eat local, and give local. Properly social distance, be prayerful for all, and together we will get through this.
Thank you, Matt. That's a lot of helpful information, and certainly you can email Hannah or email the Chamber of Commerce, contact City Hall if you have more questions. It's a lot of great information. We're excited to move forward, and so thank you to the mayor, and thank you, Matt, for all this helpful information.
Jason, I appreciate you, Matt. Thank you so much. We're almost done, guys. Hang in there. I love y'all.
We love you too, Mayor, and Lonoke, we love you. We're praying for you, and we're excited about the next steps. Good things are ahead. Our best days are ahead of us. And so I continue to pray for you. And thanks for being such a great community that works together in unity. And let's continue just to do what's necessary so that we can put all this behind us and we can move forward with a happier, healthier Lonoke in the future.